So Google has 750 million people using Gemini, and yesterday a massive backlash hit them on Twitter because users discovered something that is honestly kind of wild. If you cancel your Gemini Advanced subscription, Google immediately downgrades your account, not at the end of the billing cycle. Immediately. Even if you have 3 weeks of paid time left, the second you hit cancel, your access drops to the free tier. And their terms of service explicitly say no refunds for partial billing periods. So you're paying for a month, getting 10 days, and Google keeps the change. And look, this isn't a glitch. This is a deliberate design choice. In UX, they call this a dark pattern, which is basically a polite way of saying the interface is designed to punish you for trying to leave. It's like a gym membership, except somehow worse because at least your gym lets you use the treadmill until the end of the month. Google's like, oh, you want to cancel? Cool. Enjoy your downgrade, peasant. And it gets better. Back in February, Google quietly swapped the default image generation model for paying pro subscribers to a cheaper version called Nano Banana 2 without telling anyone. Users noticed their output started looking like they were rendered on a calculator, faces aging 30 years, skin textures going plastic. And to access the model you were actually paying for, you had to navigate to a hidden 3-dot menu and manually select Regenerate. Bro, you're charging people $20 a month and hiding the premium features behind a secret menu like it's an In-N-Out burger. But Google isn't even the worst offender here because the API billing situation across the entire industry is genuinely insane. Developers using Anthropic's Claude API are getting hit with massive bill shocks overnight, and the reason is actually kind of terrifying. See, agentic workflows, the ones where AI runs autonomously in loops doing tasks, they consume tokens exponentially. Every pass through the loop adds the entire conversation history to the input. So a 30-turn session doesn't cost 30 times more than a single turn. It costs hundreds of times more. And if your agent hits a bug and gets stuck in a retry loop, it just keeps burning tokens while you sleep. One developer stress test with 16 agents ran up $20,000 in API costs in a single session. And here's the thing. On April 4th, literally 6 days ago, Anthropic blocked subscription-based access for third-party agentic tools. So if you were using a flat-rate plan as your safety net, that ceiling is gone. You're on pure pay-as-you-go billing now with no cap. And Anthropic's extended thinking tokens, those get billed as output tokens at $25 per million on Opus. They don't exactly put that in the welcome email. Developers are out here prompting Claude in caveman speak, no articles, no conjunctions, just grunting nouns and verbs to cut output tokens by 75%. That's not a workflow. That's a survival strategy. And so you might be wondering why every AI company is suddenly squeezing users like this. The answer is honestly embarrassingly simple. The unit economics are a catastrophe. OpenAI is on pace to lose $14 billion this year, despite pulling in $25 billion in revenue. They are basically selling dollars of compute for pennies. The hyperscalers, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, are spending a combined $650 to $720 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026 alone, nearly double what they spent last year. Data center energy demand is projected to almost double to 150 gigawatts by 2028, and some regions near these facilities have seen electricity costs jump 267% over 5 years. And so OpenAI's response is to launch a $100 a month subscription tier, which they did literally yesterday, and to project $2.5 billion in ad revenue this year. They hired a former Meta ad executive and partnered with an ad tech firm called Criteo. The company that was supposed to build AGI is now basically building a search engine with a billing department. And I mean, you're already feeling this. If you're a developer trying to stay competitive right now, you're stacking $200 to $500 a month across Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini subscriptions before you've even touched the API. You're paying for 3 different autocompletes simultaneously, and each one is finding creative new ways to charge you more for less. The only reason you can't cancel is because the second you try, Google snatches your access before the month is up. They hooked us with cheap flat-rate subscriptions and free credits. That was the trial period. Now that we're dependent, now that AI is wired into our workflows and our code and our daily routines, the real cost of compute is being passed directly down to us. Every token is a microtransaction. Every API call is a meter running. And the companies burning through billions to keep the GPUs spinning are going to recoup that money from somewhere. That somewhere is your credit card statement.